Today, I will be discussing about a very common fungal disease of all the species, which is present in cattle, horses, as well as in dogs and cats, and even in camels as well. The disease is commonly known as ringworm, and it is an exclusive disease of skin system or integumentary system, which is characterized by formation of gray-white areas of skin with an ash-like surface, and these lesions are usually circular in outline. That's why this disease is commonly known as ringworm. And the scientific name of this disease is dermatomycosis, or also known as dermatophytosis. So first of all, we will discuss about its etiology. As I told you that it is a fungal disease. It is mainly caused by two genera of the fungus. One is known as Trichophyton and other one is known as Microsporum. And there are multiple species of Trichophyton as well as Microsporum, and different species are prevalent in different animals like in cattle. Trichophyton verrucosum and Trichophyton mentagrophytes are basically responsible for causing ringworm, but in horses, mainly Trichophyton equinum, Microsporum gypsum, and Trichophyton verrucosum, as well as mentagrophytes, are responsible for causing ringworm. And so on, you can see that multiple species are present in multiple animals. If we talk about the epidemiology of ringworm, some of its species are prevalent in some specific areas of the world, but rest of the species are present in throughout the world. For example, Trichophyton semi is present only in India, and Trichophyton concentricum is found only in Africa, but rest of the species are found throughout the world. There is a very important role of environment and host factors in the epidemiology of the ringworm. For example, ringworm fungus loves to grow in moist environments. That's why this disease is very common in winter as well as in rainfall season. And ringworm attacks the animal when the immune system of animal is weak. For example, in case of small animals, the immune system is very weak. That's why this disease is very prevalent in young age of the animal. And the spores, this fungus is basically spore forming in nature, and its spores can survive in the soil for years if the environment is dry and cool. The morbidity rate and mortality rate of this disease are very less, and fortunately the mortality rate is near about 0% because this is not a systemic disease. It only affects the animal locally. That's why mortality rate is very low in this disease. Mode of transmission is through direct contact and indirect contact with the fomites or animal attendants. And as far as the pathogenesis of ringworm is concerned, basically this disease appears when animal contracts spores from soil, another animal, or a human. These spores enter the body and converted into mature dermatophyte or germinate into the mature dermatophyte. These mature dermatophyte enter the keratinized cells of the skin, mainly stratum corneum. After entering the keratinized cells, these dermatophytes release some keratinase enzymes. These keratinase enzymes cause lysis of the dermatophytes, these keratinase enzymes cause lysis of the stratum corneum or keratinized cells, resulting in keratinolysis. When there is keratinolysis, there is inflammation in the skin, which will show following four signs, which is redness, swelling, heat, and alopecia. As you can see in this picture, that there is redness of the skin, there is alopecia of the skin, and when you will touch that area of the skin, you will feel that this is hot to touch. And when once this lesion has started appearing, this lesion spreads in the body in centrifugal manner, mean it will spread from center towards periphery. Why it spreads from center to periphery? Because when it affects the keratin cells, there is lysis of the cells, and when there is lysis of the cells, there is formation of anaerobic conditions. And when there is anaerobic condition, the fungus will not able to survive because this fungus is specifically aerobic in nature. So it will try to move towards aerobic regions, and that's why it will move from center towards periphery, because in periphery there is aerobic condition, but in center there is anaerobic condition because of keratinolysis. So this is very typical pattern of spread of ringworm, that it spreads in centrifugal manner and gives very typical lesions which are circular in outline. Then we will discuss about clinical signs of this disease. The incubation period of ringworm is about 10 to 14 days, and the lesions of this disease are very typical. You will find circumscribed areas of hairless skin, as you can see in this cattle, and there is formation of thick gray crumbly crust because of keratinolysis, as you can see in this cattle. But in horses, you will mostly see shiny bald areas because of alopecia caused by this fungus, and there is heavy tyriasis in both cattle as well as horses. What is tyriasis? Tyriasis is basically formation of dry crust on the skin, which is because of keratinolysis and because of alopecia as well. And this disease is very region specific, means it do not affect, usually it do not affect all the body, it only affects neck region, face region, and sides of the animal. But in some cases, you may see there is generalized lesions in the body. And how we have to diagnose this disease? With the help of lab test, we will perform scraping of the lesions and will look these scrapings under the microscope. When we will look at the scrapings under microscope, we will be able to see the spores as well as myceli of the fungus. And we can also go for culturing of this fungus as well. And after culturing, we will stain the fungus, and after staining that, we will see blue color myceli of that fungus under microscope. If we talk about differentials of this disease, that from which disease we should differentiate this, first is papillomatosis. In papillomatosis, you will see cauliflower-like growth instead of crust, as you can see in this picture. And in lumpy skin disease, you will also find high rise of body temperature along with GIT and respiratory signs. And there is specific formation of lumps instead of crust in the lumpy skin disease. In sarcoptic and sauroptic mange, you will find pruritic lesions. Animal will have severe itching, and because of itching, animal will scratch his body, and there will be erythematous lesions on the skin. And in parakeratosis is basically because of zinc deficiency, because of which the keratin cells cannot grow properly. And this disease mainly affects hindquarters but do not affect face and neck region. Then comes treatment of ringworm. The ringworm, it is a very good news that ringworm do not usually requires treatment because it recovers spontaneously without any treatment. But if do not recover spontaneously, then you must go for treatment. And treatment may be topical or it could be systemic. But topical treatment is preferred over systemic treatment because systemic treatment is very expensive. So what is the topical treatment? What you have to do? First of all, you have to remove the crust with scraping and brushing. After removing the crust, you have to apply a topical solution which is called as whitefield solution. Whitefield solution is basically a combination of benzoic acid and salicylic acid. If you do not have whitefield solution, then you can use an alternative solution. It could be copper sulfate solution or it could be ivermectin. And then you can also use sprays and washes, like you can use 5% lime sulfur or you can use 0.5% sodium chloride, which is commonly known as bleach. So this is very cheap and inexpensive treatment of and very effective treatment for ringworm cases. As far as the control of ringworm is concerned, you must take control of hygiene in the herd. You must vaccinate your animals and you should take care of the nutrition, because nutrition is very important for strong immune system. If the nutrition is good, immune system is good. If the immune system is good, animal have less chances to contract ringworm. And finally comes the zoonotic significance of this disease. You must remember that this disease is very highly zoonotic in nature. So whenever you are dealing any case of ringworm, you must take cares and measures in order to avoid the contact of ringworm from animals to you. And it has been estimated from our research data that 80% of human ringworm cases are derived from animals during dealing the cases of ringworm. And most of the cases that appear in the rural areas, they are usually taken from animals. So this is a very highly zoonotic disease. You must take care while dealing any case. So this is all about ringworm. Hope you find it very beneficial. Thank you.